Hi, James Weston here, co-founder of GP Weston Estate Agents. For the last few weeks, we've been giving tips and tricks on how to sell your home as stress-free and successfully as possible, starting at the very beginning. So in the last post, I talked about getting some agents round. Coincidentally, I was in a Bruton Facebook group where a lady said that she'd had 4 agents round and got 4 very different prices. So I thought I'd try and explain why that happens. Apart from obviously difference of opinion, there are 3 different types of agents out there. You have the corporate chains, you have the small local independents, and you have self-employed brokers. I've worked across all 3. I spent 20 years working across the sort of medium to large chains, and when a company gets to a certain size, the way they manage performance is through targets, and they can also then report back to shareholders, and they try for sort of ever-increasing market share growth. The problem with targets is that they can also sort of induce poor behaviour. The way that an office manager is measured or targeted is through how many market appraisals he can generate, and then how many of those he can convert into instructions. Now, if he gets to the end of the month and he's behind target, the temptation is to overvalue and promise a low fee, as those are sort of very persuasive ways of winning instruction. But of course, it doesn't do the homeowner any good if someone tells them too high a price. It's usually also coupled with a long sole agency agreement that gives the agents time to reduce the price a couple of times. Now, the independents and the self-employed brokers don't have that boss sitting above them trying to sort of push targets down their throats. In fact, they need to win business by recommendation and developing a good brand and a good reputation. So with that in mind, they are far more likely to value accurately and try and create a nice, enjoyable experience, so then you recommend them to friends. With that in mind, knowing that now the 2 motivations between the 2 different types of agents, when you get a price, you can sort of decide how much of a pinch of salt to take each price with. Sometimes you get good, accurate valuations from both. Sometimes people make mistakes. But as a rule of thumb, the independents will try to be more accurate.